My name is Chris Forrester, and I'm here to help guide you, the audience, through the series of panel discussions organized by NDS under the Perspectives brand. And we're looking at some of the challenges facing broadcasters today and the industry in general. This particular session has 4 absolute experts, and we're going to talk about content and service protection. And let me introduce our guests to you. On your extreme left-hand side, Leonid Sandler, CTO of DRM Technologies within NDS. Yes, hello, welcome, Leonid. To his right, Bill Mandel, Vice President Broadband Technology from Universal Pictures. Welcome to Amsterdam, Bill. Andrew Glasspool. Andrew, good afternoon, founder of and managing partner of Farncombe Consulting, a specialist industry number of consultants with a very high reputation. And last but absolutely not least, Gerard Duffy, Senior Vice President Technology at Sky Deutschland, and an ex-NDS alumni.
That's
Is that right? Jerry, at Sky Deutschland, you're moving, if you like, from a standard digital model very rapidly to a high-def model. What challenges does that present to you in making sure that the security is more than good enough?
Well, I can sort of take it from what Andrew has said and agree when it comes to premium content and providing that premium content, which is what we are doing as a pay TV operator. Then, in fact, there's no shades of grey for me there. It's really about it's secure or it's not secure. So at the end of the day, good enough is a yes/no question or answer rather. Where it then comes down to is the risk potential, and risk potential. You make some assumptions on what you think that will be, but of course those assumptions can be right, or the reality can turn out somewhat different from what you've been assuming. So as an operator, what I need in terms of security is to know not what can be done, but what will be done. So what are the technical means, the operational means, and what are the legal means in order to ensure that the platform can remain secure. If we have all of those, then we have a good enough security.
Bill, I have no doubt you'd like to see a very robust, trustworthy, single standard out there. It might make life a little easier, but it's never going to happen, is it?
Oh, no, and in fact, just the opposite. I wouldn't want to see a single DRM standard because we wouldn't be able to map it to all the variety of services that we license to. There's a huge number of variables in terms of what you need for security and DRMs, and that's why you have so many vendors of it. And I think it gives good competition. It allows you to, as new opportunities come up, there will always be a couple DRMs that become good candidates for these. And I think it lets us get a better fit to each service that we start having that choice.
So, I mean, do you think that, if you like, the market knows best because of competition and because of experience, good services emerge and are recognized as being good services? Yeah,
and I see that all the time. I mean, we'll get new services come in, and if it's a service that's really serious about launching a business, I've never seen somebody come in with some type of security solution that didn't make sense. It's the ones that they kind of put it in as an afterthought or something, and then you end up seeing business challenges in the future too, because it means they've made other compromises in other parts of their system.
Because it would be horrendous if something became so large and so important that it was then hacked, because hack day +1 is devastating for that sector.
Well, I guess theoretically, if there was a perfect Uber DRM, it couldn't be hacked, right? So that's why it also can't exist.
Yeah, but there'd be an awful lot of little 16-year-olds, attempting that hack. That's the problem, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. How, Bill, are you and your studio colleagues differentiating between the quality of the various DRM options which are out there?
That's a hard one to answer. I don't know. We look at each system ourselves as we license it and what they're trying to apply to it, and if we need to make adjustments in our terms to a licensee, then we'll do that. other than that, that's really about it. Don't have much interaction with the other studios other than through sometimes through maybe DECE or through AACS. We had done things like that in the past.
Andrew, have you done work in this area?
So we're very often asked to, we're often asked to look at different systems, and the answer really is and it comes back to that first question, is what's good enough depends on the environment. I mean, a solution for 10,000 homes is very different from a satellite solution, and if you have HD content and you're worried about copy protection, then you have a whole set of issues about the device, not just about maybe the DRM, but the way the device handles the content, and you have to be sure that the device that's handling the content is the one you thought it was, because otherwise copy protection won't be enforced. But if you have SD content, where it's already been broadcast in the clear, the aim of the DRM solution is probably to enable a simple and quick transaction easier than someone pirating the content.
Yes.
And so you have a very different, and that's why I think you have a range of DRM solutions, and each one will be set up and operated differently, even if the core algorithms might be very similar underneath, that the whole fundamental operation of the system will be different. And that's how we judge them, both by the delivery network and the scale and the size of the network.
Bill, is there any way that you incentivized your clients, those to whom you license your content? Can you incentivize them to raise their game, to improve?
Yeah, we do. I think each time there's a new service to be offered, or renewals, or new devices, that's when we look to, revisit the security architecture and see if there's an opportunity to make enhancements if needed, and bring those to bear.
And my final question, I'll open up some opportunity for questions from the audience in a moment, but my final key question, how can operators like Jerry here and his colleagues, how can they avoid losing shed loads of money? These guys won't shed loads of money over software penetration, but others might. What's the solution? Yes, please.
Oh, I think you'd actually have to work hard to do that. They have the big operators have the mind share, have the market share, have the ability to promote new products, and I think them more than anybody else, it would only be their ball to drop. It's like if you're a big operator and you're adding over-the-top services or adding device and tablet support, you need to promote that. You need to make sure it's as easy as possible to use for the consumer, and make sure that the consumers actually see that and understand it. I think they're in actually a good position to drive this, because it's very difficult in the media space to build awareness up for a new service, especially something that starts from small or zero.
Sure. Jerry, it's not been a problem for you at Sky Deutschland, but it is a problem for other operators. How do you see them? How would you suggest they address this problem?
The problem of not losing shed loads of money, well, that is a problem we experience. So, I mean, for the context of this about protection and things, if we assume we'll get the right technology partners and the platform's secure, so we're not bleeding it in that sense, then the models that we're working to, and for classic pay TV, it's concentrating on content. It's having the best content and the best formats available to the customer. It's about customer service, being number one in customer service and having that advocacy amongst the base to drive it. And for sure it's innovation, so it's bringing your services as a full service distribution to your customers with the choice, their lifestyle choices being supported, how they wish to consume it.
Thank you, Jerry. I've been given the wind-up notice, so maybe if there are questions for any of our panelists, maybe you could ask them quietly when they leave the platform. But meanwhile, thank you very much indeed. Leonid, thank you for your time. Bill, a special thank you to you for coming across from the West Coast. Andrew, thanks to you also. And Jerry, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.